For the love of Pete. Langian and Malone, this is the portion of the morning where we like to educate ourselves. Try to better ourselves.
Try to do better.
Through reading, which is fundamental. Joining us on the phone right now, Marc Berlin. Good morning, Mark.
Morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Well, we're doing okay. We're looking at, everybody's got a copy of the book here, Obama Confidential. These are strange, odd, and bizarre letters to the 44th president.
Now, I couldn't help but notice, Mark, and when I'm speaking Marc Berlin when I say that, because normally, like they have on the front, it'll be like Dean Koontz said, I love this book, or something like that. You have Laugh Out Loud Funny, A. Lincoln.
Yeah. How'd you arrange that?
Well, that's not a Lincoln, that's a Lincoln.
Oh, okay, I got you. It's not the Lincoln.
It's not the Lincoln, it's a Lincoln.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, give us some background here. Apparently, in real life, does the president really get like a group of letters each day that's supposed to represent American citizen thoughts?
Yes. Each week, President Obama receives about 65,000 letters from people across the country, and they are placed in some remote location away from the White House. They're scanned or whatever the Secret Service presumably does with them. And 10 of those letters are selected by his staff for the president to actually read and respond to. That's essentially the pipeline that exists.
Wait, how many people have to read these?
Well, I don't really know that, unfortunately. I haven't done that much research into that aspect of it. But I suspect there's a large number of aides, young aides sitting around tables reading these letters.
Every day. Oh.
Every day.
And then they pick out 10, and they give them to him, and he reads those 10.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
And he responds to 10, apparently.
Now, do you know, out of curiosity, because I know you just said you didn't do a whole lot of research, but do you know what letters they would pick out? Do they pick out critical letters of him, or do they just pick out ones that are favorable?
Well, I don't know. Again, I don't know what guidelines the staff would use to choose the letters for him to read. I would guess the ones that are most important at the moment, things dealing with like economic hardship, people struggling. That seems to be a theme throughout his presidency. So he wants to know precisely what's on the minds of the people in the United States. So they're not going to choose ones that are frivolous, obviously. They want to, or maybe even attacking him. What's the point of giving him those letters? I mean, he wants to know what's on the minds of the people.
Now, and he gets, does he really get letters from like famous people as well as ordinary citizens?
I would imagine. I'll tell you exactly how this book came about.
Okay.
One day I sat down at my writing desk, which is where I am right now, and I started to compose a letter to President Obama. And after because I was angry about various things,
okay.
And when I'm angry, I tend to write things. And when I was done writing this letter, it turned out it wasn't from me, but it was from Dennis Rodman
okay.
for some reason. And so I read the letter back, and I said, oh, that's pretty funny. It's about Dennis talking about his trip to North Korea, and it was kind of funny. And then I said, well, let's write another letter to President Obama, and this one turned out to be from Bill Clinton.
Mm-hmm.
And that was also funny. And so at the end of this, like, trance of writing, which lasted approximately 3 months, I found I had about 75 of these letters, most of which are funny. And I culled them down to 60, and I put them in this book. So there's about 60 letters from to Obama in this book, and there's about 15 or 16 replies from President Obama, which I have to admit.
So you penned the replies yourself?
Yes.
Okay, very good.
I'll admit that I invented the replies.
And did you have to summon the spirit of Obama as you were doing that?
Oh, yes. He's a very cautious man, and I like Obama, actually. I have to admit, I like him a lot. He's a great guy. I think he's doing an excellent job. Matter of fact, I just came back from Martha's Vineyard this weekend, where he's down there trying to run into him. Unfortunately, I didn't.
You don't golf, do you?
I do play golf.
Oh, well, that's where you run into him.
Playing golf with him.
Yeah, I don't think you. Yeah, the course might be closed when the president's cruising through there. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, he was with his rich donors.
All right,
that's what he does.
Which one of your letters are you most proud of?
Well, I like the Dennis Rodman one, and I do like because that's kind of fun. That makes me laugh, and whenever I read the book back to myself. I like that one, and And there's some interesting one. He got a letter from the Dartmouth College admissions office where he was rejected. That's kind of funny. And he gets one from the Cross-Dressers of America. So the book contains a lot of various letters from all across the spectrum. He gets one from, as I said, Clinton, and he gets one from what's his name?
A dry cleaner named Al Qaeda in Wisconsin.
That's funny.
Al Qaeda.
Yeah, Al Qaeda. Al Qaeda is a dry cleaner in Wisconsin, and he's having trouble, obviously. But people, when he goes to a party or a meeting or something, people immediately shun him for obvious reasons. So, he's then he gets a letter from Edward Teller Jr., whose father was the inventor of the hydrogen bomb, and Edward Teller Jr. is telling President Obama that he's invented an even bigger bomb than his father did, and with complete diagrams of what the bomb looks like. So that's sort of a favorite.
That may not be one you want to send to the president.
I'm looking at that one right now. Here's the last paragraph from Ed Teller. I would like to meet with you or someone on your national security team, hopefully as soon as possible, to discuss the further development of this important weapon and to explore how we can work together to incorporate it into our nation's defense arsenal. It sounds official.
Oh yeah, it's very official. You know, that one is probably a favorite of mine because I'm a pacifist. You know, I don't like war or guns or shooting or of any kind. And I said this would be kind of interesting and amusing to get a letter from him. You know.
And the president responds, to be honest, no one informed me there was an Ed Teller Jr. If I had known, I certainly would have reached out to you earlier.
Yeah, I hope there isn't one, actually.
Yeah,
I'm in big trouble. See, I did do obviously research for this book. I didn't spend years researching it, but I did some research. You know.
And there's some good pictures in here, good photos of Michelle looking surprised and the girls jumping up and down over something. I'm not sure, but it's certainly a funny book and a good idea. I wish I had thought.
Did you send any of them?
Send to who?
To Obama. Did you actually send any of these letters?
No. I want him to read the book.
Oh,
no, man.
Send him a letter going, I wrote a book. I'd like you to read it.
Yeah, I mean, what's the problem? I mean, he's a writer himself. And presumably, if he sees this book lying on a shelf somewhere in a bookstore, and on Martha's Vineyard, my understanding is he's going to start picking up a book to read this weekend. You know, he'll get tired of playing golf, and he'll go into one of these bookstores. There's the Edgartown bookstore, for instance, in Martha's Vineyard, where they now have 5 of these books, and so hopefully he'll go in and he'll see it. Yeah.
Okay. We hope for you, too. Oh, that's awesome.
And then he's going to call me up, and he's going to say, my fantasy is he calls me up, and he want to come to the White House to discuss your book. And you're not angry with me, are you, Mr. President? And,
that or he's going to write you a fake letter.
That's a fake letter.
Yeah. Dear Mark.
I bet he's probably going to say to Joe Biden, I don't have time for this. Write to this guy.
Yeah. Right. Joe Biden will be in charge of this.
Hey, Mark, you MFer.
Yeah,
right. Remember, this is dedicated to the voters of Ohio. You didn't see that. Right.
All right.
Oh, very good. There we go. Excellent.
So everybody in Ohio should read this book. They must read this book.
It's mandatory
required.
Reading now. Yeah. Marc Berlin, the name of the book is Obama Confidential, Strange, Odd, and Bizarre Letters to the 44th President. Mark, thanks for taking the time with us this morning. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much for inviting me. I appreciate it.
Very good.
Bye.